Trapping her down on a Monday. Progress report here on this ZL1. I believe it's a 2020. We got the bottom brace off, the front aluminum brace. Oil drained out of it. There is a brace that goes here and it holds up the exhaust. It's like a hanger. That goes away because we're gonna be doing long tubes on this. So it's gonna get long tubes and high flow cats. I'm gonna get these manifolds off next, and then yeah, get the blower lid off and move the blower, belt system, pull it all off, and then yeah, this engine has to come out for these cam swaps. So now, no matter what you do on these, there's the petcock. So the left side, it's right there. And then I also pull these oil cooler lines off. They're 1 and 2. Just helps to get the engine free when we go to pull it out, but those seem to drain out. Like they're the kind of to me they're the lowest point, so they get all the coolant out of it. But yeah, these ones aren't too bad. They're not as messy as some, but all right. Still Monday morning, Monday afternoonish. But getting these spark plugs out, I just wanted to share a tool that I really like using on spark plugs. It's a snap-on. It doesn't have to be, but it's like got a universal on it, so it's a 5/8. It's got the little plug in there and stuff. But yeah, this thing works freaking awesome. Pretty much on anything that I've had to deal with, LS stuff specifically, it works really good. But yeah, just want to share with you guys that, you know, you can use a normal 5/8 socket, but this thing works freaking X. So back to the spark plugs here, but my method always is break them all loose by hand, and then I get in and just use this right hand 90-degree air ratchet, or electric ratchet, excuse me. But right out, no issues. You don't strip or break anything because they're already loose. I do not put them in with this. They're all done by hand. Yeah, so nothing gets stripped out. But yeah, great tool. Seems a little unorthodox and jacked up, but it works really, really good. Lid's coming off. All right, passenger, or excuse me, driver side manifold off. Supercharger is off. This is a very, very, very clean engine. Very well taken care of. I think this is a 2020 ZL1. Can't remember, but yeah, front belt's off. Getting the spark plugs out of this side. Yeah, and motor mounts should be ready to come out here soon. Here is the supercharger. One thing to note on this is fluid will leak out of these, so I just used the pad. This pad was actually sitting over there on the car before I took it off, but I use this to kind of prop it, keep the gaskets good underneath. But yeah, if you tilt this away, the fluid will just come out of there. Even though I already drained it, it's still up in there, but just give it a little tilt to the left and she won't leak on you. But very, very, very good condition. Very good. All right, coming to the end of the day here on Monday, day one with the ZL1. I figured I'd get a little bit more in depth. Heads off, valley cover off, water pump, got that removed, accessory drive, front 2 belts, still got that 3rd belt, but that's a stretch belt. I gotta get this fan shroud off, but I kind of wanted to touch on something that very detail oriented, if you haven't already noticed. But I always had a question on these lifters. So if you look here on these lifters, there's a little hole right here, but there's not one on the other side. So when we go to put lifters in, I've always put them up, and you can see there's two different types here. There's ones that just have a hole, and there's ones that have this like small notch in them right here. But what I noticed is every time I've taken them out, there's the high pressure pump, but every time I take them out, they're always aimed up. And I've always wondered which direction are they supposed to go in? Are they supposed to go up or down? Because there's really no instruction manual on half this stuff. So yeah, as you see, I just took one out. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a hole for oiling. I know oiling, especially with the oil valleys and stuff and directions of bearings and stuff, are very important. But anyway, on the LT stuff, anyway, as I take it out, I noticed that it's all aimed up, obviously, so gravity can feed down, and it's not on this backside. So anyway, just a small little thing that I noticed on these, but coming along pretty good. Get the front accessories off. I think you got to do the AC and then the alternator, put those to the side, and yeah, we'll probably get this engine out of here probably tomorrow morning.
There we go. Dana popped the motor out. We on these, you got to lower the cradle down quite a bit. They're really a pain in the butt, especially the manual cars. Auto cars are super easy, obviously, because you don't have to worry about pulling 4 inches of clutch out of the bell housing before you get it out. But here we go. Got our LT4 out, and Dana's gonna blow her apart and install one of our packages. And the customer opted for the new updated K-Tech billet oil pump for this unit. So we will show you that process as we get her broken down. And yeah, there you have it. There we go. Another badass ZL1 build by us.
Quick look at the new oil pump for the ZL1. Got the oil pan off, timing cover, took the engine mounts off because the oil pan has to come off, but yeah, we're gonna get this stock oil pump off, phaser, pull the cam out, and yeah, we'll get the new new oil pump back on there, or on there, new cam, yeah, get it back together, get it all cleaned up, take some videos in between. All right, day 2. I just got the timing cover back on, oil pan, and spent a little extra time on the oil pan, making sure everything was out of it. So got it and the windage tray in the parts cleaner, so we can make sure all the silicone's out of it. But yeah, everything's sealed up for the day. Let it dry overnight. As you guys saw, the new oil pump's on, which was really nice. It fit really well, no issues with that. But basically back together like you saw it as it came out. And tomorrow we'll get it in. We do have some small details, probably put the lifters in it early tomorrow morning, and then yeah, we'll get it back in the next day. Okay, I'll try to talk loud enough so you guys can hear me this time, but the Nova's back. They got, I can't remember the name of the shop that did it down in Auburn, excuse me, I'm sure Matt will post it up on here, but all new serpentine belt, water pump, alternator, and then they got the vintage air set up, so this thing has, I just tested it out, and man, the air blows really good inside the cab of this thing. And got it strapped down to the dyno here. We're about to do a dyno run. I got the O2 sensor in, so I'm gonna install the O2 on this. So I got an O2 bung. And here, I'll show you guys this if you guys can see it. But yeah, they did a really good job on this. Like I said, I tested it out and it works really well. All new air vents, very nice. So dyno it, see what it can do, and more to come. All right on schedule here. We got the engine back in, motor mounts on, transmission's been lowered back down. We had to jack it up, but yeah, we're gonna get this thing wired and brackets on. Matt's working on the cylinder heads right now, and yeah, we'll get this plate off here, start getting things back together. Try to keep it as factory as possible here. Harnesses ran where they were, nothing was broken, everything worked out really good, so we were very careful. Alright, the lifters are in, lifter trays are in, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but these are the DOD block offs. They're just little tiny tab looking things that you put up there and tap them in. I was pretty nervous, so I didn't want to drop anything down there, so did them slowly, but got those in, and yeah, rolling along.
We're gonna throw a little time lapse in here for Chris to do something with. Maybe we do some BTS on Instagram or something like that, but I'm gonna throw this Brian Tooley valve springs kit in these LT4 cylinder heads while you guys watch. So hopefully I can set this up and do it right. Enjoy.
Here we go. We got the AC on. Let's see, the alternator's on, cylinder heads on, oil valleys all torqued down, heads torqued down, push rods, of course, rocker arms on. Matt did the valve springs for me on the cylinder head, which was nice. All the wiring tucked up underneath. And yeah, gonna do the headers next. Continue on some wiring, get the headers, make sure they fit in there nice, and then yeah, valve covers, get all our fuel lines on there, and then get the blower back on. All right, day 4, but actually as of yesterday we got the headers on, the bracing underneath, the covers, and the new oxygen sensor set up, extensions on there, catalytic converters are on, so the exhaust is all buttoned up, finished up, fits really good. Yeah, we dropped the engine in yesterday, and yeah, we'll go up top, go over that, but yeah, everything fits in here. Stainless works again. I believe these are the stainless powers option, a little bit less money, more budget friendly, but still fit really good. Made by Stainless Works. So to clarify, this is the 2020 ZL1. I just showed you down below, but headers are in. I did get the spark plugs in there as well. I'm gonna recheck the torque on the headers. Got the rocker arms, push rods in there. I think I talked about that a little bit yesterday. Fuel lines are all on and tight. All my harness is plugged in up at top, and yeah, today we'll get ready to do the fan setup, the fan and the fan shroud. Supercharger will go back on, water pump. But yeah, we decided to do everything down low. Matt wanted me to do everything down below first to make sure we're good. Yeah, lots of clearance on these. Headers always seem to fit really good on them, so yep, keep on trucking. Okay, I wanted to go over something real quick, but header install on these. I fought this on the last one we did. I think it was a 2023 that we did. Matt slid these things in from the top with zero problems. I don't know if we had the the, let's see, the main engine mount setup down below. It's hard to see from here, but it was undone. It wasn't removed, it was just loosened. There's like 6 bolts that hold the engine up in the front. We undid those, but these headers slid right down. You take your steering shaft off down below and slid right in. On this side, same thing. Starter was out, but they slid right in with no starter in there. Starter was a little bit of a pain to get in, but it wasn't hard at all. So on this, probably more for my reference, but headers go in from the top. I was fighting them coming up from the bottom, and I don't like to scratch stuff up, so I stopped immediately and opted to go through the top, and they went right in with 0 problems. So thanks, Matt, for the help on that, and it went. This is going very well so far. So that's about it. Valve cover's on. Little pillow, keep some silence, keep some heat. Getting the super damper going. Blue Loctite on all these bolts, 16 foot-pounds. Next, so we got I got the ATI super damper on here. Used some bolts to pull it in there, but the one that it comes with and the OEM one, as you can see, this is the ATI damper. This is the stock or OEM style. It's got a larger washer on it, so it don't fit. So anyway, red Loctite on this. I can't remember the foot-pounds. I'm gonna look it up, but yep. So just a quick piece of information, but I use a little bit longer bolt. It's about 1 inch longer to suck the damper in when I'm doing these. And then I do not like to use the bolt that I'm going to be using to put it in with the final torque on it. I like to use this one. It's kind of a sacrificial bolt to pull it in there. And then the final bolt, the one that's going to stay in there, it goes in one time, goes down, gets torqued, and then that's it. So yeah, this is what I use to get this in there. Just a little bit longer bolt. Like I said, these ones don't fit because they're too big. So that's it. So moving along here between the riff raff here, got the valve covers on. Supercharger base is on there, so I gotta put the lid on. We got the, it's kind of hard to see it, I don't have another light, but yeah, we got the rear belt on, the stretch belt on down there, and then on the ATI damper we got the new Supercharger lower pulley put on. And yeah, just making sure, you know, everything's tied up and in OEM spots as much as I can. Headers are nice and clear down there. And yep, Nat is got some parts on the way and should be done. Should be starting this up here in the next couple of hours. So excited about this one. All right, we got the Supercharger lid on here. Just working on getting everything back to the factory locations, like I said before. It's not easy, it's not fun. There's some brackets that I really disagree with and don't like, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. Also, the thermostat housing here, I accidentally broke this off. Luckily we had an extra thermostat housing and it's good. Okay, we're close. We're getting real close. I'm gonna do the Roto-Fab intake, but I'm waiting on a belt, some oil, and a oil filter. So Fan shrouds in. That is a little tricky, not gonna lie. There's not too bad though. And all depends on how much you tear it down. But blower lid on. Most of the evac lines are on and tight. Surge tank, overflow, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's about it. Coming to an end on this ZL1. Roto-Fab intake is on one. This one actually kind of came pre-assembled. This tube was already assembled to this little cover here. All you gotta do is put your rubber stripping on, switch over your mass airflow, and install your tubing. Install this little piece here that connects your evac stuff. But yeah, we are ready. Oil's in it. Did the oil change on it, new filter, double checked everything, probably triple checked it. I gotta burp the coolant, and yeah, we should be ready to start it here in a minute. So quick 4-day little trip here, and should be up and running later today. First start up, had a spark plug wire that was loose, had to tighten it up, but otherwise it's good. Alright, it's Friday morning. I wrapped the ZL1 up. Actually, I wrapped it up last night. Got it started up this morning. You guys saw the videos of that. Now on to the F-150, the 4-door. More, anyway. Just did a new oil pan on here. These are interesting. It's got some options here. Just getting this thing torqued down. I put new flywheel bolts in here, or excuse me, flex plate bolts, and then get the Z transmission, Circle G stall converter in there. I believe Midnight Performance did this setup, and yeah, so we'll get this up inside, more than likely today, and get it all buttoned up, and then onto the exhaust that I'm going to have to finish a little bit of fabrication work on it. Friday update.
All right, first drive on the ZL1. I've got a couple revisions in, just letting it idle here in the shop, and we're gonna see if these PS4s hold on just enough in the pouring rain here to get us around the block. I'll take you on the loop that we normally take when I'm dialing in a vehicle. You guys kind of see what I do. So one thing that we do that a lot of other tuners don't do, excuse me, let me put my seatbelt on. This is the 20 2018 ZL1 that we're doing for Mr. Fiskey. You might recognize the name from Fiskey Wheels. Yes, there is some relation. There'll be more in a later video, most likely. This is a 2018 ZL1. Very clean car. 12,572 miles on the clock. She is just beautiful. We did our camshaft package with a lower pulley, 908 lower. Our camshaft package, which is a variant of a Brian Tooley Racing Stage 2-ish camshaft. It's locked out in this car. Typically we install a lot of cams that are just limited because we've had great success moving them around and picking up power at different spots in the curve. But anyways, long tubes on this one. Really, really nice car here. And so far so good. Like I said, a couple revisions before we left the shop. Make sure it idled and it wasn't going to be dying on me, making me look like a weirdo driving around parking lots and such. And back to what we do that most other people don't do. Many drive cycles on these things before they actually go on the dyno. Lots of road testing, not at wide open throttle, but in traffic to dial in street manners and make sure that this stuff acts as it's supposed to act. You know, my customers are spending tons of money on their vehicles, and at the end of the day, we like to just really deliver a polished gem rather than something that's going to fight them. Granted, stuff happens. In fact, I've got I think I have a Tahoe and an Escalade coming back next week for a couple small tune tweaks, which we cover. Obviously, stuff's going to arise. We don't drive them all day, every day, like the customer's going to, but we try to get pretty close. So that definitely mitigates most of the comeback stuff, if you will. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're going around the block, I'm logging it. We'll collect all the data we need to collect to make sure that this thing is just absolutely perfect. And we'll keep dialing it in until I'm happy with it. And once I'm happy with the way that it drives and its mannerisms, we'll strap it on the dyno and we go for gold. Typically, this is a manual car. They typically make around 680 wheel horsepower, a little more or a little less depending on how it's been treated. Oddly enough, every car that I've ever had come in that's been beaten within inches of its life always makes more horsepower. So I'm glad this one's got a little bit more miles on it than we typically see. Hopefully it's seasoned, and our buddy Mr. Fiskey is whooped on it enough to really see what this thing can do, because I'm definitely going to put the coals to it on the dyno. And even then, we start off with really soft tune-ups. You know, I'll have this thing on the richer side of where I want it to be based off of mathematic calculation, and definitely with all of the timing completely pulled out of it, so we can see what it's going to do at wide open throttle. So after we do the drivability stuff and we're happy with how everything looks on the street, and we strap it down, I make my first pull. In something like this, we might be lucky if we can make a full first pull without seeing something that we're going to have to address. But I anticipate the first pull, it'll probably make 550 to the tire. And then just by dialing in fueling alone on these LTs, you know, they're very sensitive to fueling. They like to be on the leaner side. You can't tune them like an LS. They definitely like to be on the leaner side. We're in an LS boosted, we'd probably be somewhere around 11:8 to 1 wide open throttle air fuel ratio. These cars we run typically around 12.3, 12.4 at watts. I've run them as lean as 12.6, 7, 8, 9, 13 at watt boosted testing on better fuels to see what they really like and really respond to. And let me tell you what, you can really get away with murder on these DI engines. It's a superior design. At certain horsepower levels, yes, the big power guys were deleting the DI side of things and just going straight to port injection, or adding port injection. Obviously on the GM platform, they weren't smart like Ford and didn't do both from the factory. But I mean, it's still a great design. In that case, we use a lot of reflex controllers, or we've used the Crawford Racing quick fueler setup for the port injection stuff, or we've even used Motec and Fuel Tech and all that good stuff. To control the port side, got to be pretty careful on this guy, on these PS4s. They float real quick, and there's quite a bit of water on the road already. We weren't expecting a whole bunch of rain this week, but of course Dana and I wrapped this car up on the day that we were expecting it to rain, and I need to get some work done. So drivability tuning it is, and we'll go at least until I feel unsafe. And I drive like an old man, so in everything but my own stuff, obviously. We definitely beat the living shit out of everything that I own. But my own stuff, my customer stuff, I treat very, very well, and we don't hot rod anything on the streets. I won't even ride with my customers at wide open throttle on the street. You can't trust people nowadays, especially in Washington State. The drivers here are just absolutely atrocious. I get extremely irritated anytime I'm driving anything around, especially in the Tacoma area. But I'm making my last turn right now back towards the shop. The loop takes me about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on traffic. So the car's fully up to temp, and we make sure that it drives great. We don't have any problems around parking lots. I've got a teriyaki joint with a huge parking lot that I really like to go and drive around their parking lot when I'm testing a car, because it's the spot where these things are going to die when you're coming in hot. Like maybe you got the wheel a little turn, you're coming in hot, it's not going to recover as well. You don't have enough base airflow calculation or what have you. Fueling's off, timing's off, whatever you're using to maintain idle. There's a ton of different tables you can use to help maintain idle in these, especially with the torque-based ECUs. We've got the data logging stuff set up to capture pretty much everything I would need to make adjustments and whatnot. Yeah, we're a couple minutes from the shop. Like I said, we made that last main turn there. We're stopping at the stoplight. We cruise around like the University Place area and the South Tacoma area, and like I said, just really get them spot on. And I think this thing's gonna be ready to go on the dyno right away. I mean, just from quick looking at the data here, we do a lot of these cars, so yes, I cheated, and we scabbed a lot of information from previous tunes that we've written to get this base file just pretty dang dead nuts on. It just comes with the territory, you know, experience. That's what you guys want. You want the most experienced, most qualified person you can find to do this type of stuff for you, especially on a car like this. I mean, these things are not cheap. You know, they're very, very expensive, very nice, very well engineered cars. I really like this platform. Yeah, super duper. Sorry, I had to wave. That was my buddy Daniel from Expo Auto. We do all of their tuning. He just picked up a 2011-2012 Dodge SRT8 Charger that we tuned for them. It had a giant camshaft in it and long tubes and a whole bunch of issues, which I'm sure is why the previous owner traded it in and it went to auction. Let's be real, nobody really sells or trades in anything that they love. So typically, if you're buying a modified car, you're buying somebody else's project. And with all the South Tacoma Way is just littered with used car dealerships, and we service all of them. If it's a domestic and they've got an issue, guess what? They come to us. They come to our shop. On top of servicing them, we do a ton of tuning for the other shops in the area. Chris Holstrom Concepts, Revolution Speed Shop, not to mention our own client base. So we definitely stay busy and very, very blessed. You know, I don't know if you guys check the Facebook page out, but I just made a post today pretty much thanking everybody for their patronage, because everybody else is slow right now and we're not. You know, I think we tuned 12 rigs this week on top of Dina putting this truck together, and we're getting Tyler's F-150 back together with that built trans from Midnight Performance. Anyways, we're back at the shop, and I'm gonna go over this data. We'll make what changes need to be made, load it in the car, and go from then. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, me driving around talking about the car while we're in it, let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, drop it down in the bottom here. Let me know. We're really trying to grow this platform and just let people know what we're all about. So thank you so much. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. We're sitting in the car on the dyno. We're gonna make our first pull, so I'll let you just sit here and watch me rip on it for a second. Uh-oh. Traction control kick back on. Gonna make sure we disable that. He's looking pretty good. This car is nice. Hold on tight, let's see what we're looking like. First pull, it ain't gonna sound too good. Gotta get the tires a little warm. Not bad. Not too bad. All right, so first pull, about 11 to 1. Like I said on our drive video, we start really conservative on these when we're dialing them in. I don't want to break anybody's car, and this is how we dial them in properly. So I've got 9 degrees of spark in it. We're like 11 to 1. Everything looked good. It made 500 wheel horsepower. I lifted early. No point to ring it out. I just wanted to make sure fueling was right with the Roto-Fab Big Gulp. A lot of mass airflow changes there. A lot of torque calculation changes. And we're gonna clean up fueling a little bit. I anticipate to probably pick up 70 to 100 just cleaning up fueling, and then we'll start adding timing. And hopefully pick up another 50 or 80 more. So I'll let you guys know as we proceed. Thank you. All right, second pull, just finished that. Put a couple degrees of timing in it so it didn't sound like it was towing a trailer. Leaned it out a little bit, and we're at 640 and 580 foot-pounds of torque. So 2 pulls in, picked up 140. And we're gonna clean it up a little bit more. I think she'll take a little bit more timing, and I'm gonna have to spit some fuel back into it. I think I got a little too aggressive leaning it out, so we'll clean that up and see if she'll take another 3 or 4 degrees of spark. Our fifth revision on the dyno. I've got fueling pretty much where I want it. We're about 12.3 to 1. I've got 21.5 degrees of spark in it up top. Let's take a look and see what she did. Getting pretty close. We're gonna squeeze her a little more, but we're at 671 wheel horsepower at 6,500 RPM, 579 foot-pounds of torque at 4,400. Like I said, we're about 12.2 there, 12.3 there. It was about 21 degrees of timing. I bet you she'll take another degree of spark, and we'll be at about 680, 685, where we were with the last one. This is a very common package for us on these cars, for those guys that want to continue to like track their car and drive them around town and not have something they just can't control when they're on like road course type tires. the stuff these cars were built for. So this is my go-to package for anybody that wants that first step with a good camshaft that's going to drive good, sound good, perform well, and make really good power. Like I said, this car baselined about 530, 535 to the tire. The weather's been on the fritz here, and we're at 671 so far. So far 140 wheel horsepower up, which is huge for a camshaft and a lower pulley and an intake. So if you guys would like something similar to this, or 14, 15, 16, 17, 1800 wheel horsepower package, give us a call. We can do everything from a basic oil change to a full-blown 2,000 horsepower street car to a 4,000 horsepower track car. Let us know how we can help you at Kaiser Motorsports. Thank you.